Welcome to SVG-TV News for Friday, November 21st, 2025. I am Twyla Thompson with the details. The New Democratic Party, NDP, launched its manifesto last evening, outlining a series of priority projects it plans to implement during its first term in office. Party leader Dr. Godwin Friday emphasized that the document reflects the NDP's vision for national renewal, with a particular focus on youth development, education, economic growth, and community empowerment. Among the key proposals announced by Dr. Friday is the removal of school fees for both secondary and college students. He stressed that prioritizing young people is essential for national progress and that access to quality and higher education must be made easier for all families.
Again, for the young people in our schools and secondary schools in particular, and at the community college. We hear from parents all the time that there are these fees that are introduced at the beginning in Form 1 and in college, the first year and the second year, that every year they seem to be going up and up. And they have now become a barrier, an obstacle for people accessing education, especially at the community college. So I'm saying to you, that we as a government, we will eliminate entirely the fees for attending the community college. And the secondary school fees, you had to pay for exam papers, you had to pay for this and pay for that. No longer, that is part of your education. Those will be abolished. Affordability should never be an obstacle in this country for our young people to access education.
Dr. Friday further stated that an NDP government would observe the cost of CXC and CAPE examination fees, ensuring that no student is left behind due to financial constraints.
And who cared so much for our young people? He said, and we have continued that policy, that we will pay for the subjects for the students when they write the CSEC exams. And also for those who write the CAPE exams. We can't boast about opening secondary schools to our young people. And we say to them, work hard from Form 1 until you get to Form 5. And then when they come to write the subjects, they had to go from pillar to post with sponsor sheet to try to get people to support them so they can write the subjects their teachers say they can do.
The manifesto also introduces a Constituency Development Fund, CDF, which would allocate resources directly to elected representatives for the management of community projects. According to Dr. Friday, this approach would ensure that community needs are addressed more efficiently and that development is driven from the ground up.
Constituency Development Fund that will enable elected representatives to select projects that they wish to get done in their constituency. This is a policy that we have long espoused and that I embrace as one that empowers the people whom you have sent to Parliament to represent you. Imagine my own situation where I have been elected to serve my community for the past 25 years. And you have unelected people who could barely save their deposit trying to decide what is best for my community. These are things that deny the essence of our democracy. If you elect somebody to represent you, that person should have the means to represent. And that is what is enshrined in our policy of adopting the Constituency Development Fund.
Another major pillar of the manifesto is the proposed overhaul of the Citizenship by Investment (CBI) program, detailing how it would be structured, monitored, and utilized to benefit national development. Housing is also a central theme, with plans to expand affordable housing initiatives and establish a national housing recovery and resilience fund, accompanied by updated building guidelines to strengthen climate resilience. For the northern end of the country, the NDP outlines a 9-point plan aimed at boosting community tourism and small business development. This includes support to locals to establish guest houses, Airbnbs, and ecotourism ventures such as turtle hatching tours along Big Sand Beach. Additionally, the party proposes the creation of a national biodiversity zone and a visitor center to promote conservation and attract sustainable tourism activity. No vacancy for Prime Minister. Leader of the Unity Labour Party, ULP, and Prime Minister Dr. Ralph Gonsalves has indicated that his party, if returned to office for another term, he intends to hand over the Prime Ministership to a younger leader during the upcoming term. He made this disclosure during a public meeting in his constituency at Park Hill last evening.
I'm a human being. And sometimes I may falter. But never have I faltered because I disregard my huge obligation to you. I love you now and will always love you. And when the time, sometime in this term, when it is necessary for me to go, so that one of the younger ones will take over, be assured that we have an excellent team and we all sing from the same song sheet. And I'll be here always to advise and to guide. But for the time being, there is no vacancy in the office of Prime Minister.
The Prime Minister described the gathering as a historic meeting in Park Hill and thanked his supporters for their continued confidence in his leadership. He told them that the upcoming election is the most consequential since the nation's gained independence. Meanwhile, earlier in his speech at the Park Hill ULP public meeting, the party leader claimed that groups of foreigners from various countries are working with the New Democratic Party, NDP. He specifically referred to Trinidadian financiers allegedly affiliated with the Trinidad and Tobago's ruling party, the United National Congress, UNC.
Of business people from Trinidad associated with the UNC, the United National Congress, which forms the government. I am not saying that the Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago is aware about UNC finances because doing this nasty work, because there are some UNC financiers who are perfectly reasonable and decent people. And some of them are complete vagabonds. Total vagabonds. And why do they want to come to St. Vincent? Well, there are three reasons, sorry. These Trinidadian financiers, they want the following among other things. The land at the waterfront, where we have just moved from, with the old port, is the most valuable piece of real estate in the city. They want that with a sweetheart deal from an NDP government.
Dr. Gonsalves stated that he is unable to prevent these individuals from entering the country as they are citizens of CARICOM member states and therefore benefit from regional freedom of movement provisions. However, he added that he has been able to block the entry of certain Chinese nationals whom he claims are seeking what he described as a sweetheart deal with the NDP. Meanwhile, Trinidad and Tobago's Prime Minister Kamala Persad-Pisesa has hit back at Prime Minister Gonsalves over his statement, noting that he should focus on accounting to his people for his 24 years in office rather than on the United National Congress, UNC. In a social media message today, Prime Minister Persad-Pisesa rubbished claims from the SVG Prime Minister that UNC operatives are involved in SVG's general elections. She categorically refuted and rejected the allegations and asked Prime Minister Gonsalves to identify the USC persons he claims are in St. Vincent or stop gaslighting his citizens. PM Persad-Pisesa also stated that the investigations into the acquisition of 3 high-rise luxury HDC apartments at Victoria Keys have absolutely nothing to do with St. Vincent and the Grenadines general elections. She said the investigations are intended to determine whether any fraudulent declarations were made, verify the source of funds for the 3 acquisitions, and identify how his family members were able to obtain favorable rent-to-own arrangements 2 days after the April 28th general elections, before her government was installed. PM Persad-Pisesa said that she has recently observed other Caribbean prime ministers and their parties engaging in active and overt campaigning in elections beyond their own borders, a practice her party firmly rejects. She said the UNC does not participate in that type of deplorable and disruptible conduct. According to the choice of the leader for St. Vincent and the Grenadines is solely for the people of that country. If Caribbean prime ministers continue cavorting around the region and interfering in the affairs of elections of member states, it's only a matter of time before CARICOM implodes. New Democratic Party NDP candidate for Marriaqua, Philip Jackson, has criticized his opponent in the upcoming election, accusing him of failing to adequately represent the people of Marriaqua. Speaking at a public meeting in Riley, Jackson said that as a resident himself, he has lived experiences that reflect widespread dissatisfaction in the constituency.
The roads are in disrepair. We drive on them and walk on them every day. And when they try to build a road, they're taking years to build a piece of road, wasting time and material. And all the time, your vehicle is mashing up and costing you more and more. Money that should have gone to your family is going to vehicle repair. Listen to me. The evidence is clear. We don't have to go through all of the facts because you experience them every day. ULP is not working for us in Marriaqua. And because we are the one who employ them, it is time to fire them because they are not working for us.
Jackson added that once thriving Marriaqua is no longer what it used to be, and he expressed a desire to see the area restored to a vibrant and booming constituency.
Marriaqua, we are living in serious times. It therefore means that we have to ensure that we put our hands together and work together in partnership with someone who really wants to work together with you. And that person is no other than your humble servant, Philip Jackson. People of Riley, we simply do not have the time to be wasting with persons who are just going through the motion. We have tremendous work that we have to do to rebuild Marriaqua. We have tremendous work in agriculture, in sports, in education, in business development, in community spirit, and we have to ensure that we have a partner who is committed to the task.
Head of the traffic branch of the Royal St. Vincent and the Grenadines Police Force, Superintendent of Police ASP Panel Brown, delivered a forward-looking address during this year's annual road safety seminar, emphasizing the expanding role of technology in modernizing the nation's traffic management systems. Brown noted that the recent implementation of cameras across key areas of the traffic network represents only the first step in transitioning to a more technologically advanced approach to law enforcement and public safety.
I have just submitted a document to the Director of Finance in respect of traffic lights. Now we have improved that by, as I said before, installing cameras. We are now in a better position to do more prosecution in terms of offenders. Because when persons are exiting these intersections and byroads and so on, where they would have gotten in an accident or struck pedestrians and so on, we have used the cameras, the footage from the cameras, to prosecute them.
He further expressed his recommendation that traffic lights should be reintroduced across the country, stressing that such an upgrade is essential if St. Vincent and the Grenadines is to attain and maintain a first world national status.
I have recommended that we bring back street lights because traffic lights. No, you have to forgive me because he said street lights, so I have to say. No, we are thinking about bringing back traffic lights. If the first world nations have traffic lights, so if we are thinking about bringing St. Vincent and Grenadines to a first world nation, we are thinking about bringing back traffic lights. I have not been an advocate of any thing, but it's just general improvement in our being.
As part of the countdown to its 100th anniversary, the Intermediate High School held a special ceremony last Friday, 14th November 2025, to unveil the portraits of its 14 past principals who have been instrumental in shaping the school's legacy. The event took place at the school and featured a program led by current principal Mona Green, who delivered welcoming remarks. Attendees were treated to a historical reflection of the institution's development over the decades, highlighting the contributions of each principal to the school's growth and development. Tributes and remarks were also given by Deputy Chief Education Officer Joycelyn Blake Brown and past principal Elspeth Adams, celebrating the enduring impact of leadership of the school community. A highlight of the ceremony was a brief story shared about the founder and first principal, Dr. John Paminus Eustace, whose vision laid the foundation for the school's existence today.
Intermediate high school has been in existence for as long as the Boys Grammar School and the St. Vincent Girls High School, not so? Yeah. And we often hear about those two top performing schools. So what is Intermediate High School known for? What is the legacy of the Intermediate High School? That is something you need to find out, especially the students. And if you are not sure, it's not too late to establish it, you know. And let me pause a bit here to congratulate the staff of the Intermediate High School. I know it's not easy being a principal and being a teacher in today's school. So teachers, thank you. Welcome. Thank you. Thank you. And students every day, show more appreciation to your teachers. Right. We don't want to see in the headlines a fight, a cause out. No, we want to see the positives coming out of the Intermediate High School. And students, you can change the narrative, and you can start by changing it today.
Having walked these grounds for 6 years as your principal, and now serving the Ministry of Education and National Reconciliation as a senior education officer, I have the privilege of viewing this milestone through two equally proud lenses. One of deep personal connection, having helped to shape the noble institution, though for a brief period, and one of official recognition for foundational leadership.
The occasion included several items of worship and entertainment, with Pastor Gary Martin offering a special prayer of dedication, invoking blessings over the portraits and continued journey of the institution. The intermediate high school was established in 1926 and the third institution dedicated to secondary education in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. The St. Vincent Grammar School was the first in 1908, followed by the St. Vincent Girls High School 2 years later in 1911.